we're going to have a little look at some ways that you can start to increase flexibility. So you can run all the way through these exercises, and then you can run back through them again. As you start to get more flexible, then you can just add in a third set as well. So start off with one set of each of the exercises, and then if you're feeling good, then go on to doing a second set of these exercises as well. And each exercise, you're looking to do around about 10 to 15 exercises to the point where you feel comfortable. But these are to generate some heat in the body and equally to bring about some flexibility. So you can start off before you get into these exercises by doing a 5-minute walk just to raise the warmth inside the body. That could be walking up and down stairs, could be just walking around the house or outside in the garden or something like that. But just something to generate a little bit of warmth. First exercise is down on the floor, and we're going to be doing some back and neck movement. So lying on the floor, knees up, arms out to the side. You're going to take your knees both down to one side as your head turns and looks the opposite way. Back up to the centre, back down, back up and through. So it's a nice, steady, slow exercise. You're going to look to do around about 10 of these. And as you start to move a little bit more, you're going to start to find yourself being able to lower your legs slightly more and equally moving your neck and your head around to a slightly lower position. So you'll generally start to see that movement start to increase. The next one we're going to do is we're going to turn over onto your tummy. Hands out in front of you. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw one leg in at a time. So I'm going to pull my right leg in whilst pushing my left leg away. So I'm pushing my left hip into the floor. As I pull my right leg up, I create a small space here underneath the hip, and I'm pushing my right knee into the floor. I hold, slowly return it back to the start position, and then I pull my left leg up whilst pushing my right leg away. I'm pushing my left knee into the floor, feeling a slight tug and a push in my right hip, slowly pushing that back. And what you're trying to feel here is the tightening and the lengthening of the hips and the hip flexors. So we're just doing that very slowly, very precisely, for 10, 12 reps to start with, and just see how you feel with that. Then we're going to come up into a sitting position. And your feet are going to be exactly like this. So I've now got my left knee in front of me, my right knee is out to the side slightly, so my left foot comes right across, my left leg comes across the front of my body. I've got my left hand on the floor, directly by my hips, and now my right hand is going to come across onto my left shoulder. So my elbows up nice and high, and now I'm going to keep my head looking forward. And I'm going to move around, pull my shoulders around, and then back to the start. So turn around, turn the torso, and then back through. Do 3 or 4 of these. And then you're going to look behind you. So you're moving your head with your torso. And I want you to think and focus on where you can see behind you. So 3 to 4 of these, and now keeping the head still again, move the body around the head, and you should start to notice that you start to get a bit more movement, and then 3 or 4 of those, and then the head again, and you should be able to see a little bit further around behind you. You might notice your foot or something out in your peripheral vision. Then you're going to turn around and do the opposite side. So body positioning is exactly the same. This time the right hand is by the right hip, the right leg comes bent across the body, and then the left leg is just out to the side. Left hand on the shoulder, turning around, keeping your head looking forwards, and just moving your torso. So we're starting to look to get that flexibility back into your spine and then up into the neck as well. So 3 or 4 looking forwards and then 3 or 4 looking behind. Nice and steady, nice and slow. And then 3 or 4 with the head not moving, just looking forwards and rotating the body around it. And then looking behind, you should start to notice a few objects behind you. And then we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is a glute exercise. So standing up, you want a chair or something of this sort of height so you can rest your hands on it. And if I show you this side on, so I'm going to start to work my left leg. Standing tall, I just take my left leg back until I feel my glute tense. Bring it forwards. Take it back, bring it forwards. So we're working the glute muscle in the left cheek. So you're going to do about 10 on this leg, taking it all the way back, putting it nice and forward. So try not to arch the back with this, try and keep nice and straight in the torso. So we've done about 10 on there, go to the other leg. So we're now working the right leg, moving that. Nice and control, really hold your tummy in as you're doing this. So once you've done 10 on this leg, we're then going to work the glute med, which is the outside of the hips, so the hip stabilizer. So if I stand here so that you can see this, holding on to something, I'm going to take my hip leg out. So keeping the leg straight, keeping the toes facing forward, take the leg out, hold and back in. So really, you should feel it right here in this position on the side of your glute and the side of your hip. So I'm just taking it out, nice and steady, nice and slow. So we'll work 10 here. This will be quite exhausting because it's a small muscle. So then we do the other side. If I turn around so you can see this, working here, coming out and back. It's a slow, steady exercise. It's not meant to be rushed, it's meant to be felt. So you're coming through with each movement nice and slow. Now we're going to come into a crunch. So back down on the floor. Hands on your knees, head back down. All we're going to do, or hands on the thighs should I say, we're going to slide up, the legs come back down. So you're going to try and work a couple of sets of these of between 12 and 15 reps. Try not to force the head up, but let it come back and through. We want as natural a position on the neck. We want to be feeling it in the core muscles as you're coming up and down. So we don't need to come up any higher than that. So as the hands come up to the knees and back down again. Next we're going to come on to an ITB stretch. So we're looking to stretch down through the side of the thigh. It's good to have something to hold on to if you're not feeling very confident with this one. So I'm going to wrap my right leg over the front of my left leg. My left leg is straight, and then I'm going to bend to the right hand side. So I'm stretching all the way down through the outside of that leg. Yeah, and if you want to, you can increase the stretch by stretching further down through here, all the way down through that side by lifting your arm up and leaning over a little bit more. But we're trying really to push that hip away so that we start to get that stretch. Coming back into the other side, so to stretch my right hand side, right leg is straight, left leg comes over the top of it, and then if it's tight already, you should start to feel a little bit of tightness even as you do that, and then you start to lean across, and you start to get that stretch coming down through from the top of the ITB down through. There's another variation of this stretch. I'm going to be holding that one for about 20 to 30 seconds. Another variation is sitting down on the floor. I've got my left leg nice and straight. I put my right leg over the top of my left leg, so I've got my feet nice and straight, and I'm going to take that knee towards my opposite shoulder, and I'm going to grab it and take it across. I'm starting to stretch down through the ITB, so I'm going to turn side on. I'm starting to take it across my body. It's a slightly harder stretch, this one, but it's definitely worth it trying to get into that position to take that stretch across, and I can start to take it through and across the body. Again, 15-20 seconds as a maintenance stretch, and to develop it, a 30 to 40 second stretch. Next one we're going to have a look at is a chair squat. So I've got different heights here. So to start off with, a nice sized box or chair or something, a bench that you can sit down to. So just have it so it's just behind you, and you're going to sit down, rest, drive back up through your heels, making sure that your toes are almost off the floor. So sit back down again, stand back up, so the weight is in the heels the whole time. Start to progress and start to feel better with these. Driving through, all the way up nice and tall, big squeeze in your glutes at the top as well, so down and through, down and through. So you might be able to do 10 of those, you might be able to do 15 of them, but do a couple of sets so that you're really starting to work and build the strength in those legs. Equally, you can then start to go to something that's a bit lower once you've got your confidence with this, so coming down, driving back up again. Down and back up. That will be for someone that's got slightly more strength into their legs. This would be where most people would start with something that's just a little bit higher. Just move that way. Okay, so next we're going to have a look at an oblique crunch. So lying down on the floor, if I face you, hands go onto one leg, lying back, come across to one side, back down, hands come to the centre, and then go across to the opposite leg. So you're sitting up, slightly doing the crunch, but moving across the body, so we're starting to work the obliques. If I turn side on, so from here, coming across to one side of the body, back down, and then through to the opposite side. Nice and steady, shouldn't rush it. Just feel the exercise, and you'll feel that in the outside of the core. Next one we're going to have a look at is the alternate arm and leg Superman. So lying down on the floor, arms and legs out in front of you and behind obviously, and we're going to lift one arm, one leg, back down, opposite side. Lifting them through, so you're feeling the contraction in the back and in the glutes. This is just helping to strengthen the lower back, bit of upper back, and those glutes again. Come and sit up, and we're going to work on that pure body weight deadlift. So we're standing up, hands by your sides, thumbs touching the sides of your legs. Standing nice and tall, you're going to send your hips back, hands come down the thighs until you get to your knees, then bend the knees slightly, and what you should notice is that my knees stay well away from and well back, so my bottom is back, my back is flat. And then I drive back up to the start. Big squeeze of the glutes at the top. Standing tall. Push your bottom away. come down to that mid-calf, driving back up again. So you want to feel tension here in your hamstrings, back's nice and straight, driving back up again. So you're working the hamstrings and the glutes. Down, through, squeeze, and back. This is all about setting up motor patterns. Next one we're going to do, the final one, now this is a good one for you to be able to do in the shower or once you're warmed up, which is a neck stretch. In the shower it's lovely because you can have the hot water going onto your neck and you can stretch the neck properly. Alternatively, you can do this once you're fully warm. I'm going to take my right hand on top of my head and I'm going to look down into my right armpit and I'm slowly going to pull my head down towards my armpit. Now the thing you should be doing with this is breathing. So a nice big deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in, exhale. And each time you breathe in and out, you'll be able to look slightly further down towards the floor and you'll feel the stretch coming all the way up through from the traps, all the way up through into the base of your skull. And then the other side, looking down into the armpit, pulling it down. Now it's not a forcible tug or a pull, it's just gentle pressure applied to the top of the head and to the base of the skull to then help it to then just slowly come down, and you're just guiding it down towards your armpit. If you can't look too far down, if you haven't got much movement, don't worry. By doing these stretches, it will help you. So then another final piece from that is once you've done those stretches is to look all the way up as far as you can, looking down at the floor whilst keeping your head back. So your head position should be coming here, it should be from that position, looking down, looking to your right as far as you can, looking to your left as far as you can. Up, down, right, left. Those stretches will just help you to develop that little bit more flexibility into your body. Do them every day, 10-15 minutes a day going through those, and you'll start to feel more strength in your body. If you want to do a second set in the evening, so do them as soon as you wake up, do another set in the evening, or even 2 sets in the evening, and you will really start to feel a huge amount of difference